This is Lender Approvals. I am James Vernon. In this video, we are going to talk about the closing costs lenders spring on you at the very last second, right when it is time to sign for ownership. Say what? Yeah, right? If you like our content, subscribe, like, comment, and share this. We want to hear from you, so ask us real-life questions. We got your back. So let's get it. You saved $50,000 for your down payment. You were disciplined, you sacrificed, you did everything right. And then you sat down at the closing table and they slid a number across to you. $65,000. Where did that extra $15,000 come from? It was not a mistake. It was not a scam. It was not even unusual. It was the real cost of closing that nobody bothered to put in writing when you started this process. You planned for one cost, and 3 of them showed up. The 20% deposit, that one you knew about. Then an appraisal fee, $400 to $900, due up front before the deal moves an inch. And then closing costs, another 5% of the purchase price that everyone in the room somehow forgot to mention until you were already sitting there with a pen in your hand. These are not hidden fees, they are standard. They are expected by every lender and every title company in the country. They are just never explained to the buyer until it is almost too late. So let us add them up right now, before they ambush you at the table. The deposit, 20%, the part you budgeted for, the number you saved toward, the one everyone talks about. The appraisal, $400 to $900, paid by the buyer in nearly every financed purchase. The lender orders it to protect their investment, and you pay for it, up front, before approval, non-refundable. Closing costs, roughly another 5% of the purchase price, due the same day as everything else, at the same table, with the same pen. Budget for the deposit alone, and you walk into that closing short by a significant amount. The appraisal and the closing costs are not extras. They are not optional add-ons. They are the rest of the real price of getting into that property. And the people who show up prepared are the ones who planned for all 3 from day one, not just the one everybody talks about. So what is actually inside that 5%? Because closing costs is not one fee. It is a stack of smaller ones that all arrive at the same time. Lender and origination fees. This is what the bank charges to process and underwrite your loan. Think of it as the bank's service charge for doing the work of approving you. Title insurance and title search. Someone has to verify that the property you are buying is actually free and clear of any claims or liens from previous owners. That verification costs money, and the insurance protects you if something was missed. Escrow and settlement. These are the people in the middle who handle all the paperwork and make sure every dollar goes where it is supposed to go on closing day. They coordinate the entire transaction, and they charge for that coordination. Recording and transfer fees. This is what the city or county charges to officially put your name on the deed, the government recording your ownership in the public record. A fee for the privilege of being recognized as the legal owner. Prepaids. Your property taxes and homeowner's insurance paid ahead of time before the first bill even arrives. The lender requires a cushion in escrow to make sure those obligations are covered. You cannot fix what you did not budget for, which is exactly why we plan the full cash to close from day one, not at the table when the number is already in front of you. Most people think the only way to cover all of this is by draining every dollar they have ever saved. And if you have worked hard to build that savings, the idea of watching it disappear at a closing table is genuinely painful. But here is what changes everything. You were never meant to pay all of this from personal savings alone. Professional investors do not max out personal credit lines to cover closing costs. They do not drain emergency funds to make a deal work. They build a structure that covers it, a properly structured LLC built to be fundable. That entity gets approved for working capital, and that working capital covers the deposit and the appraisal and the closing costs. All of it, planned for in advance, not scrambled for at the table. That is not a workaround. That is the strategy. And here is the formula in the exact order it works. Step 1. The credit audit. Your personal credit file is the foundation. Pull all 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Find the errors, dispute them. Get your utilization below 30%. Fix the file before you do anything else, because everything that comes after this depends on the foundation you build here. Clean file first, then the funding covers all of it. That is not a workaround. That is the strategy. Step 2, structure the LLC. Not just form it, structure it. The right name, the right NAICS code, the EIN, the operating agreement, the dedicated business bank account. All of it telling one coherent story to a lender before you ever submit an application. Step 3, fund the entity. Business credit lines, trade lines reporting to the bureaus, a track record of clean, consistent activity. The LLC needs its own financial history before it can borrow on its own merits. Step 4, cover it. Deposit, appraisal, closing costs, all of it planned for in advance through the funded entity, not scrambled for at the last minute from personal savings. Banks do not fund confusion. A clean file and a funded entity turn what used to be a surprise ambush into a line item you already accounted for. That is the whole game. And this is not theory. This is not hype, not magic, not luck, not a windfall. Patience, process, the right structure built in the right order, real results, real income, real property. Do not get ambushed at the table. Know your real cash to close before you ever make an offer. Know what the deposit costs. Know what the appraisal costs. Know what that 5% actually breaks down into. And know exactly how to fund all of it through a structure that was built to handle it. The first step costs you nothing. Download our free guide, 6 Steps to Buy Your First Property the Way Banks Want to See It. The link is right below this video. Go through every step, in order, and pass it to someone who is about to sit down at a closing table without knowing any of this. Fix your credit, fund your LLC, buy commercial real estate. LenderApprovals.com. I will see you in the next one. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share the video.